News at 10 on 2 Works for You starts right now.
State of emergency in Oklahoma.
I just tried to keep a positive attitude because I know the little ones were looking at us to be strong because they didn't know what was going on.
Emergency crews on a mission.
A lot of us picked them up and held them because they didn't have any shoes on, or they were pretty much in just their uniform and they were cold.
Now Green Country looks to rebuild.
When I saw it, I was devastated. I mean, I lost it immediately.
And now take a look at this. Some new video into our newsroom of that deadly tornado that hit Sand Springs. It was captured near the Walmart store on Highway 97. And when that twister rolled on, here's what it left behind. Devastation for the families living at a Sand Springs mobile home park. Tonight, 2 News reporter Liz Bryant is in that target zone. And Liz, it's been a very rough day for those residents.
A very rough day, Karen. We're the only ones here tonight, which deputies guard this tornado zone around the clock. Curfew started at 9, and residents aren't allowed back until sunrise. Their mobile homes are ripped apart and stacked on top of each other.
She's all dirty and everything, but she can be cleaned.
But angels surround the women on this street.
If something would have happened to him, it would have been my fault because I bought him the place.
Deidre moved her dad, mom, and mom's best friend into this trailer in December.
It's just overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. Just, you don't know what you're going to do next, but, you know, God's got this.
Their neighbor picks up the pieces, too. Regina showed us her trailer held up by her mom's ashes.
That's my mom. She's always there somewhere. I knew I was worried about her ashes getting ruined. But, you know, they're not plastic. But I didn't ever think, Marvin told me that, look who's holding the trailer up.
While some drive away with mattresses, others have cars smashed underneath debris.
We've lost a lot in the almost 41 years that my husband and I have been married. And what little we can save, we're going to save.
As for this angel, it's the first thing Deidre found as she packed up her family, a symbol of her older sister who died of cancer.
That's what family does. And I mean, we may not all of us may not be blood, but we're still family.
And those women I spoke to today, they don't have insurance. FEMA teams are out here tomorrow. And for this devastation, you can see this is the norm behind me, a roof completely ripped off. Liz Bryant, 2 News, Works for You.
It's right there. It's right in front of us. Oh, wow.
Some other drivers had a front row view of that first tornado of the season. They were forced to pull over, taking shelter underneath an overpass as that storm swept through. High winds rocked their cars while hail and debris just flew around. Damage to vehicles, buildings, and even fires reported in the region, and 1 confirmed death. And right now, Governor Mary Fallin back in Oklahoma City tonight after touring the damage in Sand Springs. Fallin told residents this afternoon, if you don't have insurance, just wait. FEMA teams will be there tomorrow to help. The governor stopped and talked with families. Many of them took cover in the storm.
I think we have the best response teams in the nation anytime a natural disaster strikes, and we're very proud of the efforts that were gone on here last night.
The governor declared a state of emergency for 25 counties in Oklahoma. The full list is on our website. Now, after a disaster, everyone needs to watch out for those who try to take advantage of people in need. We talked to Oklahoma's Insurance Commissioner John Doak, and he said about 400 homes were damaged across the state. He warns that brings out the crooks trying to cash in. Some advice: don't pay in cash and keep all your receipts for any contract work done.
And many times you'll know whether they're reputable or not if you say, hey, just let me take your picture, take a picture of you and your car and your license plate. Many times, sometimes they'll turn around and leave.
Doak says if you have any questions and you're concerned about fraud, be sure to call the State Insurance Commission office. Oklahomans opening up their hearts and their wallets tonight. Researchers on Highway 97 in Sand Springs taking donations. They're collecting toiletries, food, and clothing. And in just one day, they filled several trailers with items and gave more than $1,000 in cash. One young man decided since school was canceled today, he'd spend his time volunteering.
It's an amazing feeling. I love helping the community. I always try to give back wherever I can, and I just saw a moment and jumped in and said, hey, let's do this.
Research has a donation area set up if you'd like to make a contribution. Now, many of the residents displaced by Wednesday's tornado are now searching for their lost pets. 2 Works for You reporter Nathan Edwards live at the Tulsa Animal Shelter tonight. And Nathan, tell us what's being done to reunite them with their owners.
Well, Karen, right now, multiple agencies here in Green Country are trying to get these pets reunited with their families, are pulling together all their resources, including turning to Facebook for help. All of Richard Williams' belongings are scattered around his mobile home, now upside down in his neighbor's yard. After the tornado hit, there was only one thing he wanted to save: his dog.
My biggest fear was finding her when I was digging my furniture out.
Richard and dozens of families lost their pets during Wednesday's storms. Many of the dogs and cats are now being held at Tulsa's animal shelter, waiting to be picked up. To help reunite them, many are turning to Facebook.
Facebook, everybody's there. Old, young, everyone.
This page was created last night. People missing pets now posting on this page, while others put up pictures of animals they found after the tornado.
These are the only things they have left. Like, these are what they love, and some of them don't have houses anymore.
Facebook is where Richard's family looked first.
I immediately started searching the page and scrolling, looking for it.
Which led them to the Tulsa Animal Shelter. That's where they found Daisy alive and well, with only a scratch on her leg.
I really didn't think I'd ever see her again. Yeah.
Richard feels blessed to have her home.
Relieved.
He now hopes others have the same luck.
I'm alive and she's alive. That's all that matters.
The Tulsa Humane Society is also helping out. They've donated supplies to Red Cross to distribute to these families. Reporting live tonight in Tulsa, Nathan Edwards, 2 News Works for You.
Now, your Storm Shield weather first forecast.
And good evening, everyone. We are battling some cool air tonight as temperatures are dropping. Hello, I guess we're going to be over here right now then. Okay, we'll come on over here and talk about the weather. The temperatures are dropping into the 40s in many locations across the region here this evening. Let's take a look at the Midtown camera, and we've got, well, partly cloudy skies as the clouds are starting to increase across the area. 45 at Bartlesville, 46 at Okmulgee, 45 now at Pryor. And look at Tahlequah, already down to 36 degrees. Storm Shield radar. A little bit of light rain up to the north between Chanute and Independence. So some of us might have just a few sprinkles, especially over far northeastern Oklahoma from, say, Choteau up to Grove, back toward Independence and Bartlesville. You can see a little bit of rain swinging through here. Coming up, we'll talk about how much rain we'll see overnight, who could see more rain between 3 a.m. in the morning, and also over the weekend. A little fly in the ointment to the forecast. Will you see rain over the weekend? We'll go over the latest storm track in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Brett. The owner of a marina on Keystone Lake tonight vows to rebuild after that tornado ripped apart his docks. 2 News reporter Will Dupree joining me from the 2 News Center after talking to the owner. And Will, you found out this is not the first time he's had to start over.
John Mullen told me this will be his 6th time rebuilding Westport Marina because of storm damage. The marina, which is located about 8 miles south of Cleveland, was destroyed when a tornado apparently touched down by Keystone Lake. The storm tore apart the dock's metal roof and caused some parts to collapse onto the boats stored underneath. Mullen found out what happened yesterday after he left work at his other marina on Grand Lake. In fact, he says he pulled under an overpass to escape the hail when he got a call and heard the bad news.
My manager said it was totally destroyed, and some, you think, his definition of total is different, but it's bad.
Mullen says he started calling customers last night to tell them about what happened. It will take 4 or 5 more days to get all the equipment needed to dismantle the docks. His crews will then have the tedious task of taking it all apart piece by piece with a saw. Despite the extensive damage, Mullen hopes to have a new marina built in time for summer. Reporting live in the 2 News Center, Will Dupree, 2 News Works for You.
All right, thank you, Will. Leaders of the AIM High Academy are still coming to terms with what happened last night. As those sirens went off, about 70 teachers, parents, and students rushed to the basement and rode out the storm. Firefighters soon arrived and pulled all the kids out. Fortunately, the executive director made the call early to take precautions with the storm, and nobody was hurt here.
We heard the sirens go off, and Miss Jennifer did this little signal, and we went down to the basement.
Well, it was really fun at first, but when it was like the rain pouring down, I was really scared.
I felt like my body was just going up, and then my ears popped, and I knew that we were in the tornado.
Many of the children were emotional following the storm, and firefighters talked with the kids and helped comfort them. Academy leaders say despite all that's happened, they will compete in a state meet this weekend. We wish them well. And you can be ready for any kind of weather with our Storm Shield app. Download it on your smartphone or tablet to get personalized alerts. It's available for Apple and Android devices.
This really is Tornado Alley.
They installed a shelter to keep them safe and then couldn't get to it in the storm. Plus, another elementary school in Moore hit by a tornado. This little boy's second school to take a direct hit.
And most of the weekend looks great, but there is one little fly in the ointment. I'll tell you when it could rain in the Storm Shield forecast. You're watching 2 News at 10.
We're here at Fowler Chevrolet, where Richard and Debbie took advantage of 20% off